Hi, welcome to the Ronin Author. I'm your host, Ryan McGinnis. I'm the owner of S&D Designs, the owner of 217 Press, and also a self-published author on Amazon. I started this podcast to be a sort of support group for self-published authors because, like the Ronin of ancient Japan, we walk a very lonely path and we don't have a big support net. So we got to help each other out. And that's the whole purpose of this podcast. I just wanted to have real talk. We're going to talk about the good. We're going to talk about the bad. We're going to talk about everything in between. And I'm going to share what I've learned on my author journey. It's also very important to note that this is not a guru's podcast. I don't claim to have all the answers. I don't claim to be, some big best-selling author that can, tell you the path to success. No. Much like the Ronin's saying back in the day, I've modified it to suit my means, which is no gods, no masters, no gurus. So let's get on it. Let's talk about it. This is episode 5. Look before you leap. Research is your friend. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to tell you what I'm not talking about on this episode. I am not talking specifically about researching your material for your books. That should go without saying. And even if you do the best research you can possibly do, it's not always going to be enough. One time, I think it was in my second book, The Osiris Initiative, there is one paragraph in there where a couple guys are at the shooting range and they're having a shooting contest. And I know that sounds like macho BS as fuck, but bear with me here. Bear with me. In the context, it would make sense. But in the book, they're at the shooting range, and I mixed up the terms magazine and clip when referring to loading ammo into a pistol. It's a relatively small thing. It was like 1 or 2 sentences in a book of like 65,000 words or something. But that was enough to earn me a bad review. I had somebody burn me good on Amazon for not knowing the difference in a magazine and a clip. Now, never mind the rest of the book. Never mind the entire rest of the book. That one sentence was enough to take them totally out. So I mean, it goes without saying that you should research the subjects in your books, and you're not always going to get it right. I'm not one of those only write what you know kind of guys, because I think that's silly too. Because what do I know? I know about growing up in the country. I know about living in the city. I know about, my experiences are fun, but it's not the thing of books. I'm not a secret agent. I'm not a soldier. I'm not, any of these other things that I write about. I'm not a ghost, so, use your imagination. That's what we have them for. But no, I'm not talking about research like that. I'm talking about, like, in feudal Japan, the Ronin, which were masterless samurai, that's samurai who didn't belong to any castle or shogun or association. They were just mercenaries for hire. They traveled the countryside. They perfected their craft, and they had no gods and no masters, But those guys, they really had to know their stuff because they had no support net. Their support net was them, and they were all they had to rely on. And so, like a Ronin, you need to really learn what it is you want to do. In this case, it's be a writer. If you were going to be a plumber, you wouldn't... If you're going to be a plumber, you wouldn't just go and be like, all right, I'm going to do plumbing. Well, do you know anything about plumbing? Nah. It's cool. I'll figure it out as I go along. That would be horrible. And it's the same way with writing. I did years of research, which you don't always have to do years of research, but I did years of research as it was a hobby. And before it became like, something that I was going to for real do, I spent years studying writing. I spent years honing my writing. One way you can do that is to do like I did. Write for clients, write for newspapers, write for blogs, write for whoever will have you, and get your writing polished and know your craft. So that when you get to writing your books, your writing stays fresh. I still do that nowadays. I do a lot of blogs on my website, ryan-mcginnis.com. And I do a lot of blogs on there in between books just to kind of keep my writing fresh, keep my fingers nimble, keep my brain nimble, because I learned early on that if you write a book and then you're like, yay, I wrote the book, I'm not going to do anything else. I'm going to take a break. And pretty soon that 2-week break turns into a month break, and the month break turns into a 6-month break. And then when you write your next book, when you finally get around to it, you'll find that your writing muscles have atrophied a little bit. And so you have to keep yourself nimble. You have to keep yourself trained up. So basically that's what I was talking about this week. That's what I'm talking about. Research what you're doing, learn to be a writer, and once you get comfortable writing, you have to keep writing because you have to keep those muscles limber. A Ronin would never say, I'm a great sword fighter, and then, once they finish training to be a sword fighter, they never use their sword again. Because then when somebody finally challenges them to a fight, they're going to be rusty and they're not going to know what they're doing. And you're the same way. So, as a writer, research, learn how to write, learn the fundamentals. And once you get it down pat, don't stop doing it, because don't stop doing it. It keeps your muscles from atrophying. It keeps you fresh. It keeps your mind nimble. And that's what you need to do. So that's my advice for today. I'm going to cut it a little short because, as you can hear, I'm still getting over being sick, and so my voice is kind of giving out on me a little bit, and I don't want to sound too raspy for you guys. So I hope you have a great week, and if you have any comments, leave them below in the comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you keep your writing muscles nimble. Let me know what you do, and let me know how you learn to be a writer in the comments, and we'll talk soon. You guys have a great week.